Welcome back to Mark's Workshop. Something a little bit different today. Not working on my 12s for 2K build. I've actually got my new pressure regulator gauge to try and set the base fuel pressure, but I've got this old 350 I need to finish getting together for a mate of mine. He's got an old GMC truck that's had a few engine problems with the original motor in it, so I've got this old 350 here that I've had for probably 15 years or something. We're going to put that in it to get it going. You know, it's just a basic 350. It is an 010 2-bolt main block. It's got 60 thou hypertectic pistons. It actually does have 0 deck height, but that was because I was doing it for something else that I never got around to doing. So I'm just going to put it in my mate's old GMC truck and things like that. But it's really, at the end of the day, it's just a basic 350. It's 60 over. It does have ARP rod bolts and just the basic little things. So I put new rings and bearings in it. Used like a Hastings rings, Clevite bearings. I've worked out just the basic cost, what it would cost if someone wanted to, build a motor at home, and with basic tools and things like that, you can buy everything from eBay, luckily, to do it all. So I've had this motor assembled for years. Originally, as I said, we were going to put some little turbos on it. I do have another motor there, and it had an issue, so it's actually got I swapped it for an old Holden 308. It's got to be 15 years ago, and it had water in the bores, so we put a sleeve in the back, sleeve here. All I've done is just ball honed it with a dingleberry ball hone. You can see it's an old 010. It is only 2-bolt, as I said, so it's a freshie. But at the end of the day, if you can do the stuff yourself using the right tools, basic tools which you can buy just off eBay, you can rebuild them cheap. Anybody can rebuild a motor. Biggest thing, honestly, when putting them together is the everything's got to be cleanish. No grit on the bearings when you put the bearings in and things like that. So I'll go over to the other section and we'll have a look at that and what I've bought for it, and I'm going to put a new cam and things like that, and we'll go from there. We'll have a bit of a look soon. Thank you. All right, next little segment on my 350 basic rebuild. I actually had to hang up because my elderly father was calling and had to take his phone call. So, all right, so as I said, it's just a basic, really, all this motor is, apart from being stock, it does have ARP rod bolts, and it does have 60 thou hypertectic 4-valve relief pistons, and it's just a basic stocker, so the only reason why there's a bit of tape on there is I've actually got the engine number written there because I had the block 0 decked, as I said, so the number's gone from there. It's now just written on there so we can stamp it back on there, things like that. But it's just a basic thing, so I need to get my mate's GMC truck going, as I said, and go from there. But what I've done is I've worked out what I've got. You hear people say it costs so much money to rebuild a motor. At the end of the day, if you can do it yourself, if I can do it, I learned by just doing things myself, buying the right tools and things like that. Anybody can do it. Don't be scared to have a go. There's so much on YouTube and the Google and whatever, and anybody can do this. Keep things clean. This is only dirty because it's been sitting around, but it's been covered up in a bag, but things like that. So just heads are just basic 350 Chevy heads. They have actually been ported. They're on my mate's one of his motors, so we're putting his heads on my motor. Crazy thing is, my motor's the old Chevy orange. His heads are the Chevy orange. That timing cover, that harmonic balancer is Chevy orange, and they've come from a different motor as well. So there's like 3 combinations of motors just in here to get this thing done. Now, what I've done is I bought a new cam for it. It's a Precision Dynatech cam, which are, you know, ground in the US. It's a proper US ground cam. It does have no lift at all. 422 in the intake, 444 in the exhaust. It is just a hydraulic. It's a 204. Where is the other one? It's 204 and 214, I think it was, wherever that may be. Can't even see it. That's fine, but it's only what they class as their stage 1. You know, when I started buying a few things this, I did order another cam, and if you can see a cam here, it's in 3 pieces. This is how it turned up. So this is a brand new, same cam, same spec, everything turned up in the box in 3 pieces. You know, so I had to get another one. Actually, there's the box of the old one. Actually, it was in a nice box, actually. Precision International brings them in. You know, I've heard people say that the white box camshafts are Chinese cores, which is, it's not actually true. You can tell, if I could see it, find it, there it is in there. It's actually upside down, but it's CWC, which is the company. There's 2 companies in America that make cam cores apparently, and this is one of them. So they are proper US cores. You know, there's all a lot of apparently cam failures lately. Lucky I haven't had one yet. I do not hope to have it on this, but being a stocker, these lifters are actually old lifters, and what I had was I had Thai Engineering before they shut their doors just before Christmas. I took over a heap of lifters, and they refaced them for me to give them the right curvature, so it runs on the cam. So obviously the cam's got to rotate the lifter. But yeah, so I've had them all refaced. Being that they're old lifters, they should be, you know, really good condition. The cam that they come off was in really good condition, but they were never kept in order, so I've had to do that. But yeah, so first cam I bought turns up in 3 pieces. It is what it is. The replacement cam was this one. You know, as I said, head-wise, it's just a 350. This come off of one of the motors that a mate's had. They've had port work, but it's not going to be fast, this thing. It's just going to be good laughs. Just an old GMC truck and things like that. And what I've gone through on my list of stuff, I've written down the price of everything. Now, look, they're Hastings rings, Clevite bearings, Dynatech camshaft from Precision. There's the brake-in lube, which is there and there. So that'll go in the camshaft, that will go in the main oil. I've written down everything that we need. Okay, now I've written down here Speed Pro lifters. If you had to buy new lifters, they were cheapest ones I found in a name brand was $205. It did cost me $160 to get these refaced at $10 a lifter, but you know, there should be no issue with them. So all parts, including, so you got the rings, the Clevite bearings, which is mains and big ends. We haven't replaced cam bearings, they were okay. Dynatech cam, brake-in lube, Felpro gasket set, actually a Pro Comp manifold that my mate already had, but they're like $200 off eBay in Australia. Penrod assembly lube, which I just showed you, things like that. All parts for a basic rebuild, which is all you need, $1,079. Now, what I've also done here, basic tools that you can use, you know, hand lapping tools. So obviously they come with a couple of sticks and hand lapping paste. That's just old paste. I've got a few tubes of it, but I've written it all down. You know, that's $30 off eBay. Ball hone, I haven't got here for the bores, but like a Dingleberry ball hone, which is mine just in the cupboard somewhere. It's like $86 brand new, or you can get it flex hone for $28. Hone the lifter bores. I bought a $20 lifter ball Dingleberry hone. That's all that is. So that the lifter boards to clean them all up. A ring compressor and ring tool for putting the rings on so you don't break the rings, $18. Tension wrench, $89. You know, I'm sure you can get a cheaper one, but $89 will give you, you know, a decent one to do what you got to do. And a valve spring tool, so you can take your valve springs off, lap your valves, put new seals under the retainers and things like that. So all that comes to $280. Now the $70, the oil and the filter was actually was for just say like a HPR 30 5 litre bottle and an oil filter, which I don't have here. So but yeah, everything, this is basic, like so they're the heads, everything, blah blah blah. Some basic tools. I'm even using, because we're just making up, it's not going to be fast at all. It's a stage 1 cam, it's only just over standard. Even using an old timing chain set, nothing special. There's all the head bolts all cleaned up, all the push rods, the rockers, the rocker nuts are all in there. There's other nuts and bolts around, but yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just start assembling the engine and just go bit by bit. It's just a bit of content, to be honest, just a little bit to add to my page and things like that, you know, and a bit of fun. That's all it is. And biggest issue is obviously running in cams and hope we don't tear a lobe, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, no, as soon as I get the other stuff on, I'll slowly do a little bit here, there, and keep on going. All right, thank you. So installing the camshaft on this, just a basic little rebuild, this 350. So obviously the cam assembly lube, the moly lube, you know, with the zinc in it. So just putting it all over the lobes. I've only just started to work on that one, still to do those ones, but doing that bit, got a little bolt in the front of it to put the cam in, but also just an old sauce squeeze bottle, which, you know, just has oil in it. So put oil over the journals and things like that, just to make it go in a little bit easier without scraping. But yeah, so just that part of it now, and then on to the next thing, and cam gears and so on, and go from there. Right, on to the next part. Thank you. Alright, camshafts are now all installed. Timing chain, a little bit loose, not that bad, seen worse. So it's only a stocker, as I said, so that's all installed. Let's put the bottom cam gear on. Just use a brass drift, you know, bang it on there so it's not damaging anything. That's all on there now. So actually you can just see a little bit there. I put red Loctite on all the bolts. Should see if I can try and get a cam button in there, but I don't think I have one, and the motor that was pulled apart never had one anyway. But I'll have to have a look at that and check to the time in case if it's too loose. I'll put a cam button in it and just have to get one, but that can be later on, and then I'll just re-red Loctite the bolts. But yeah, so that's the next little thing done, and on to the next part, and you know, we'll start putting the heads on. All right, be back soon. All right, going to put the head gaskets on now, put the heads on. Now, as I said, in that little list I made, full gasket kit is like $100. We're doing the cheapie here, using some old Felpro gaskets, but you can buy a whole kit for $100. But so I've just cleaned them up with just a bit of Scotch-Brite. Is it a good idea? No. Will it work? I hope so. So I'm just going to do that. Got the old Holomar, and I'm going to spray the gaskets and put them back on. As I said, I just gave them a Scotch-Brite both sides, cleaned all the shit off it, and yeah, I'm just going to spray them up and put them on. And what we'll do is when we run the cam in, we'll hopefully we'll do that here in my shed before we put in the car. We'll re-tension the heads down, and hopefully it sticks, hopefully. As I said, it could be a dumb thing to do, but I hope the old trusty Holomar does its job. All right, on to putting the heads on. All right, on to the next part. All right, next part, half done. I won't say fully done. So heads are on. This side is all tensioned down, so that's all done. I did use a Loctite sealant on all the thread bolts, things like that. So that side is all done. This side is not so good. All right, currently we've got one strip thread. So now I'm going to have to fix that. I've only just done these up to 45 foot-pounds. All the others are done to 65, 45 and 65 I did it. But I'm going to have to go and find my helicoil kit, pull this head off, helicoil that bolt, and hopefully we don't strip anymore. So, bit of a bummer, but yeah, that'll be it for me for the day. And you know, I know it's only a basic, cheap little rebuild, budget $350 just to help a mate out, one of my best mates. Gets it out of my shed anyway, that's another thing. Less shit I have to carry. But yeah, if you like it, as I said, you know, leave me a like, a comment, tell me good or bad, don't really care. But yeah, just a bit more content to add to it, and as I said, just still on my holidays, trying to get things done. But yeah, now I'll go for that dreaded bolt and find my helicoil kit and try and fix that one up, and I'll be back into it tomorrow. But all right, thank you. Thanks for watching.